Welcome to Reinvent Yourself, the best awareness and self-improvement channel on YouTube. Today's video topic is 5 steps to dealing with life's disappointment. One thing for sure is that we are going to deal with disappointment in life sooner or later. Put your mind at ease as a first step. Every time you are disappointed, your consciousness is lowered to a lower level where your thoughts are mostly based in fear, despair, grief, or apathy. There may be times when disappointment feels like the end of the world because it is so overpowering. You can't think clearly when you're stuck in a situation like that. In order to respond to your situation more effectively, you need to first raise your consciousness to a level that is more neutral or positive, such as desire, neutrality, willingness, or reason. Look for uplifting things to do to relax. What types of activity do you most relish engaging in? Recognize them. You may do that by keeping a personal journal, going for a stroll in the park, seeing a light movie, playing games, or chatting uplifting pals. Pick up your favorite book and begin reading it if doing so makes you feel better. Get out of your house and take in the fresh air if walking around your neighborhood helps you unwind. Play video games if they make you happier, but don't play them too much. Whatever you need to do to feel better. Sometimes the easiest approach to clear your mind and replenish your vitality is to simply spend time alone. For me, spending time alone, conversing with friends, and watching my favorite show all work together to significantly raise my mood. I like to spend time by myself when I'm feeling very down. This time alone helps me organize my thoughts, think clearly without interruption, and decide what to do in my current circumstances. Conversely, talking with friends enables me to discover new viewpoints that I might not have otherwise known about. Step number 2. Commit to your desire rather than your aim. When you are dissatisfied, the reason why you are disappointed stems from your attachment to a particular result. You become disappointed when the outcome differs from what you had anticipated. This reaction is quite normal. However, realize that your objective is a reflection of a hidden desire. It is just one of many options you have to satisfy your desire. Assume you visited Company A for an interview. You heard nothing but good things about the location, the benefits, and the job scope. You consider working at Company A to be your ideal career. However, you are rejected in favor of a different applicant who they believe is a better fit for the position. Company A has a rule that prohibits hiring the same applicant more than twice in a 2-year period. You cannot submit an application until 2 years have passed. What then should you do? Step number 2. In overcoming disappointment, it is to concentrate on the desire you have for your goal at its core rather than the objective itself. Recognize right once that Company A employment is merely an outward manifestation of your inner desires. This inner desire might be to land a job that is extremely difficult and in a fast-paced workplace. If so, there are numerous positions available to you, like starting your own business or working at Company G or Company H. One method to do this is to work at Company A, but there are many more. Your desire to work at Company A is merely an external reflection of your inner desire to develop professionally and to challenge yourself to the fullest. As a result, your goals in this situation are as follows. You want to get a job at Company A. You want a career that challenges you in a dynamic working environment. And you desire to work at Company A as your goal. There are plenty of different approaches to achieve this goal. The road to working at Company A may be blocked for the time being, but you can still pursue alternative avenues that may even be more fruitful than the initial one. Relationships are a typical instance of how people become attached to an external project. For instance, you have person A. You want to be with person A, but they don't feel the same way about you. Even if you might be disappointed, pause to consider true motivation. To be in a sincere, loving relationship with another person, you can fall in love with a lot of people in this world, including person A. There are many other people who could be suitable with you. He or she is not the only one you are capable of loving. Connect with the underlying desire to be in a real relationship rather than pinning all of your hopes and aspirations on this one individual. What deep-seated desire is the force behind your objective or expectation? Recognize it and put it in writing. Let's say you wish to go from point A to point B. What drives you to want to get to point B? Point B is only one of the places you can go when you identify with this goal, which is one of many. There are numerous additional options, including points C, D, and E, all the way to Z. Then there are points A1 through A3, etc., where you can satisfy your wish at least as well. Don't concentrate on your external projection, which is merely one means of achieving your underlying desire. If you are getting value from this video, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Step 3. Let go of your illustrations of perception. The next stage of overcoming disappointment is to free oneself from the expectation that reality should be a certain way, because they are fixated on what they believe reality should be. Many people continue to be disappointed. When you are disappointed about something, it suggests you have an idea of how it ought to be. This impression is merely how you see the world. It is not the actual situation. Example, let's say you believe you deserved an A after studying for a paper. However, you didn't. You consequently feel let down. Your assumption that working hard to study equals receiving an A in this instant is incorrect. There are numerous ways to learn. It's possible that you didn't study properly. Maybe you focus your study on the wrong chapters. It's possible that you study without fully grasping the material. You hold on to the idea that you ought to have received an A in your head. However, this is a delusion. It isn't the truth. You are suffering because you are clinging to this idea, this illusion. Additionally, it keeps you from advancing. You can't get where you want to as long as you are in it. You must let go of your expectation and delusion in order to deal with disappointment. When you are unhappy, consider, what am I getting worked up over? What erroneous belief am I clinging to? What do I want out of reality that I don't get? Find each of these deceptions one by one. Ask yourself when and how you started to believe these lies. Release them after becoming conscious of them. You're experiencing delusions that distort your perception of reality. They are keeping you from responding to your circumstances in a positive way and from leading the life you ought to be leading. If we consider the relationship in step number 2, you are dissatisfied because you desire a connection with person A. You believe that you have lost out on a wonderful relationship that may have been, but that's just a mental trick you're putting on yourself. Person A cannot fulfill your desire for a meaningful connection if, for whatever reason, they do not want to be with you. He or she is not the one who can fulfill your wishes. You need to free yourself of the notion that he or she is the one. Step number 4, recognize that the result is not a setback. Many people take something as a setback and become disappointed with it. They believe they have retreated from the person they aspire to be. Using the study strategy example mentioned earlier, let's imagine you spend a lot of time preparing for your examinations. You were convinced that taking these steps would produce an excellent outcome. But instead of coming up with that result, you came up short. Despite your disappointments, this event is helping you realize that your way of thinking needs to be corrected. What you first believed to be enough to accomplish your goal is insufficient. Instead, in order to achieve your goals, you might need to put in more effort or adopt a different strategy. Instead, that leading you away from your goals as you initially believed. Disappointment is assisting you in moving closer to them. You've learned new things from your experience, whether they be about you, the circumstances, or the wider world. Now you possess information that is only known to you. If an outcome taught you something, how can that be a setback? The first line in the quotation is, "What doesn't kill us makes us stronger." You leave the encounter having learned this lesson and being a better person. You develop into a stronger person. You reach a previously unattainable level of awareness, consciousness, and growth. Step number 5. Pay attention to performing your best. Finally, try your hardest. A lot of us have a tendency to criticize ourselves when things go wrong. We hold ourselves accountable for all mistakes. Put an end to that. When something goes wrong, it is not necessarily to blame yourself. Furthermore, there is no justification for anticipating flawless operation. It's only normal for things to go wrong. If anything, there will always be a portion of events that go horribly wrong, a portion of events that go okay, and a portion of events that go according to plan. However, we consistently pay more attention to the few things that go wrong than the things that go right, because we replay negative experiences over and over in our minds when they are actually just universally occurring natural occurrences. They become worse than they actually are. Make an effort to gain knowledge from the mistakes that have been made. Gather the fragments, then concentrate on performing as well as you can. Because the secret to success is having the capacity to learn. Move on and try again using a different strategy. Disappointment management is absolutely not simple, but if you put a lot of effort into the aforementioned steps, they will help you escape the hole you are in. Focus on living in accordance with your aspirations rather than being concentrated on your ambitions as you begin to move past your setbacks. Keep setting goals. Let them be your propulsion. But resist identifying with these objects. You become caught in the trap of equating your existence with theirs when you do that. Your goals are merely external outcomes, and these are transient. Thus, this is not sustainable. Living life to the fullest is more important than just achieving your goals. Choose within your means and in light of the circumstances, the course of action that will enable you to live most in accordance with your inner desires. You shouldn't feel bad as long as you are continuing to do it because you have exhausted all of your options. Start living your life purpose. When you begin doing that, you discover that you can live consciously and freely rather than putting yourself at the mercy of other people's action. You have the power to harness your inner aspirations in a positive way to create the life you deserve. Thank you for watching. Be sure to comment and subscribe. We'll see you in the next video.